it's Erica Mackey, and this is my July wrap-up. I read a total of 8 books this month. The first book I read was Darkness Becomes Her by Kelly Keaton. This is a YA paranormal fantasy series, and this is the first book in her Gods and Monsters series. This book series follows a girl named Ari who has always felt weird and alone. She has teal eyes and freakishly silver hair. Growing up in the foster care system didn't really give her a chance to find out more about who she is, and she wants to do that. This leads her to uncover a letter from her dead mother about her birthplace called New 2. When she arrives in New 2, she realizes that even though she's always felt weird and alone, in this place she's relatively normal, but for some reason everyone is afraid of her. In this series, she meets friends. She learns that she's a descendant of Medusa with the power to turn gods into stone. There's a goddess in this book who's out to kill her. Darkness Becomes Her is the first book. A Beautiful Evil is the second book. The Wicked Within is the third book. And Heart of Stone is the fourth and final book in the series. I have a video review of this series, so I'll put a link in the description below. The next book I read was Beautiful Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. I did not like this book at all. This is a YA paranormal fantasy series, and Beautiful Creatures is the first book. This book follows a guy named Ethan Waite who lives in a small southern town called Gatelin. He's just a normal guy. This new girl named Lena Duchesne comes to town. Ethan Waite has been having strange dreams about a girl, and when Lena Duchesne comes to town, he realizes that she's the girl from his dreams, and he wants to find out the strange connection between them. I didn't like the relationship that developed between Lena and Ethan Waite in this book. I felt that it was like insta-love and that their romantic connection wasn't really genuine. There seems to be some things about dark magic in this book and a mystery around a strange locket that Ethan and Lena find that's connected to both of their ancestries and the strange power that Lena has. I didn't really like the world building in this book, and I couldn't really connect with the small town mindset of this book. I just felt disconnected from everything in this book basically, and I didn't really like any of the characters. So I read the first book in this series. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars, and I decided to not continue on with the series. I know that in my July TBR I mentioned that if I didn't like the Gods and Monsters series or Beautiful Creatures, that I would start with the Delirium trilogy, and I forgot that I said that, so I decided to just start reading the Harry Potter series. I read the first book called The Philosopher's Stone. I liked the introduction of the characters and that Harry was a wizard. His family never told him that he was a wizard. I read his book once before, 2 or 3 years ago, and I remember loving it back then. I liked the introduction of the Dursleys, Harry's aunt and uncle, and his nephew Dudley. I found the passages about them to be really funny, especially their physical descriptions. I remembered a lot about this series, but one thing that I forgot was I thought Harry, Ron, and Hermione were friends at the start of the series, and I didn't realize that Harry and Ron accepted Hermione a little ways into the series. I loved the character of Hagrid. His tendencies to get emotional always make me laugh, and he just seems like such a sweet and loving character. I think he's my favorite out of all the characters in the Harry Potter universe so far. This first book in Harry Potter was expertly written, and I just really enjoyed it. I gave this book 4 to 5 stars on Goodreads, I believe. The second book I read, of course, was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This is the second book in the Harry Potter series. Strangely, even though I read the first book and the second book right after each other 3 or 4 years ago, I ended up forgetting a lot of the things about this book. I found that this book amped up the series a little bit more, and I liked it more than the first book. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. It was really fantastic. The final book that I read this month was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I liked the plot of this book, and I liked the introduction of Professor Lupin, who is the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher in this book, and he also happens to be a werewolf. I also like his relationship with Harry. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because I just thought it was phenomenal. I liked it more than the first 2 books. Since I'm not going to do video reviews of the Harry Potter series, I've written Goodreads reviews about this series, as well as other written reviews about the books that I've read this month. I'll put all the links to the written reviews in the description below. That's the end of my July wrap-up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Down in the comments, please tell me what books you read this month and if you enjoyed them or not. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!